Hey, we're going to work on a TV today. The capacitors went out on it, and so I have a flat screen Samsung. Oh, lots of different model numbers kind of work for it. But anyway, we're going to work on a TV. Okay, we're going to replace the capacitors. So I've already taken off the back panel. There's the back panel. Has lots of screws in there. All these little holes all the way around. You know, they're just like all screws. Bonk, 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 bonk. Right. Okay, so here's what the TV looks like from the back of it. Yeah, let's get a little closer here. Alright. And now I'm going to take off the screws off the sides of the plate. So there's 3 screws on this side, there's like 4 over there, 3 over there, and then there's a couple right in here that's going to hold it down too. So I'm going to take that off. Okay, so in the process here, I've taken these 2 little wires off. Okay, there's 2 little wires down here, 2 plug-ins that kind of go into that little part right there, taking off this frame. Okay, also right here there's a connector, and you could actually use a screwdriver head on top of these, even though that looks like you take like a crescent wrench or a socket or something like that. You can still, there's a little flat head on the top, so these got to come out. Okay, and put everything in a nice little container. Take pictures, mark it, take a video, whatever. Now this whole bracket should come right off. Let's get these out of the way, put these over here, keep everything on the same side that you're at. And I kept all my my screws in the back of the TV, and I just lifted off the whole TV. That way I didn't have to make a pile of screws. Okay, so this should just come off now. This comes off. We're at the motherboard and the capacitors. And there are some shot capacitors. Okay. That one's bad. That one's bad. It looks like that one's bad. Those look fine. These are bulging and they're creasing, they're coming out. And these are just fine down here. Okay, so we're going to take those out and replace those, hopefully. So in order to do that, it looks like I've got to take out the whole entire motherboard. So I'll have to remember where all the plug-ins are on these things too. Whew. Good grief. Okay, so this was laying in here like this. This is like the motherboard. And there's wires attached here and there. And so I just kind of pulled those off to the side and left them in the same spot. There's wires attached here and here, and I left those there. Okay, and then there's a wire attached up here. This guy, pulled that out. And remember, when you do the plug-ins, there's a little push part on there that you can pull them out and kind of wiggle them. Here's one here, and here's one here. Okay, and then you had screws. 6 screws. Little hint was when I took that out, the motherboard should have readings to where it says attention. That's towards the top of the TV. Okay, so that's your little hint there when you go to put it back in again. All the readings are right. If you got the readings upside down. Okay, so instead of showing you exactly what to do with the motherboard here. And the capacitors, if you look, I've replaced the capacitors now. And what I did was, once I took out this whole motherboard piece right here, this whole unit, see, comes out like that. I took it down, and once I bought the capacitors for it, which I found at Fry's. Yeah, you could find some at Radio Shack, but they give you the wrong size. And so instead of doing it myself, basically my eyes are getting really bad, and to get the solder kit that I got at Radio Shack, which was I got a nice solder kit that should have a pump on it. It's cheap. It was like 14 bucks or something like that, and then the capacitors were like $2 something a piece, and some are like $4.39 each. But instead of doing that, I just went down to Fry's and I got the right capacitors, and in the process I brought my little motherboard in here, so I took a little shortcut, and the total price from Radio Shack would have been about 37 bucks, but to have them do the work for me and just put the capacitors in after buying them right there at Fry's, it was only 45 bucks. So I was like, let's go ahead and have these guys do it. And the one thing you want to do with the capacitors is make sure that you put the negative to the negative and the positive to the positive. So that's a big thing to find out which one's the negative. There's a little on the back end. Let's switch this around. Sorry about a close-up view here. Okay, the back end has a let's see, where's it at? It's kind of like well, there's a little plus in there. I can see the little plus. There's a little plus on that side, and there's a little plus, and it shows you where you need to put your positive side. So, in that process, sorry about the bad picture here. Just getting it put back into this spot here. Since that's the process right there, you want to just go ahead and I had these guys put it in, and they put the positive to the positive and negative to the negative for the capacitors. Okay, so now I'm going to put the TV all back together again, and we're going to see if it works.